a table, a stool, and a candlestick. So he can have somewhere not only to study the word, but somewhere to rest his feet, somewhere to eat, amen. So when she did it, we found that it was for the man of God who was Elisha. Now, according to the word, it said that Gehazi was the servant, and he walked with Elisha. So even though she had prepared it for the man of God, because Gehazi walked with him, he got blessed also. How many know that when you walk with the woman of God, and the woman of God is blessed, you also get blessed. But listen, there's a flip side to that. Whenever trouble comes to the woman of God, you also have to be partaker of that. And we're not willing to go through the trouble that's going to come to the woman of God as well. We don't walk with the woman of God. So Gehazi walked and he became partaker of the blessing for him to go out into the field and reap the harvest. Now he could be a benefit to his family. How many times do we, when we're in the world, we have all the strength that we need. We have the strength of an ox. We can do everything. But then as soon as we get saved and we come on the Lord's side, now we begin to say, as the child said, my head, my head. Now it's time that he can be beneficial to his family. Now he has a problem. Now his head. Now it wasn't his fault. That's what came out of context to bring it back in. The point is, sometimes we're so protective for the enemy. But now we go to the Lord's side. Now we have sickness. We have disease. Now we can't do things. Now we find that, oh, I can't make it anymore. Now we find ourselves at the altar. Now we can't do anything because now we came on the Lord's side. And now we're not as yielded. We don't have the strength that we had when we were serving the devil. Amen? Back to the story. It said, and he said to his father, my head, she knew to go up. Because she knew that this was something out of her hands. She knew she didn't have the ability. So what did she do? She said, I gotta go up. Because the spirit of sickness has overtaken my only child. It's her only child.
Come on.
She's rich. So when she died, where will that possession go? So she needed an heir. Her husband was old.
That's right.
She probably outlived him. So she definitely wanted him to be the heir. A provision for, she had to use that because she knew that that man of God, one, he had a prayer life. He wasn't like the prophet Jonah, but this one had a prayer life. He was included in sync with God. So because of that, he said, he laid him on the bed of the man of God, and she shut the door upon him, and she went out.
My God.
And I said, why would you shut the door?
Ooh.
And the Lord said the reason why she shut the door because she wanted to contain the spirit of sickness in the room. If she would have opened the door, the spirit of sickness would have went to her house and wiped out everything. All her servants, her manservants, her sheep, her oxen, her husband, herself. So she had to contain the spirit of sickness
Come on.
in the